What it do, YouTube? This your boy Shay Streets. Right now, I'm talking to you guys about Gotham, Season 4, Episode 1, Pax Penguina. Now, pretty much, this episode, I gotta give the hats off to Michael Kerrigan. To Anthony Kerrigan for playing an excellent Victor Cash, man, because he's a stone cold SOB. I mean, what kind of person shows up at a wedding and robs a group of robbers, then robs the same venue that another group of robbers was trying to do? Not only that, but with a license from the Penguin. He even said that himself. He said, hi. He was sitting at one of the tables. He said, hi. You know you can't operate a crime. You can't commit a crime without a license by the Penguin, right? You know, this, that, and the third. So he shot off one of the leaders of the gang's robbery crew's fingers. And that immediately sent him, of course, into a complete ego trip and said, you know what, you haven't seen the last of me, tell Penguin, you know, this, that, and the third. So he enlists the help of John Crane. Now, why does that sound so familiar? Well, I'll tell you why. Because Jonathan Crane becomes one of the most infamous and notorious villains that Batman has ever come to face. We know him as Scarecrow. In fact, he actually turns into Scarecrow towards the end of the episode when one of the robbery crew members puts him in a closet so then he can make more fear juice so then they can get the Penguin. And it turns out they actually succeed in doing so at his grand opening of the Iceberg Lounge, in which we also see a high-ass sculpture of the Enigma, aka Edward Enigma. You know, he's in the ice coat. He's telling the news reporters this big story, saying that, listen, Ed told me, listen, I don't want to be buried. Just put me right in front of the people so that people can see me. Of course, Bruce is Bruce Wayne. He's not his Batman. Get up. In fact, you even hear Alfred even tell him, listen, there's a time for a mask and there's time for Bruce Wayne. Because, you know, the crew in the first opening scene of the season is in execution style getting ready to kill by the Penguin because they tried to kill him. Pretty much. So, Bruce actually stops the Penguin from doing so, in which, you know, the lights go out, you know, arrests are being made from Jim Gordon and Harvey Dent, I guess, the commissioner. And so, with that being said, this episode was pretty damn dope. You know, we got a lot of footage on Jim Gordon's upbringing. You know, by upbringing, I mean him as a starting cop, you know, as the detective and things of that nature. You know, his own crew actually flipped on him because they were getting ready to get the drop on the Penguin. His own crew was like, listen, man, everything is good. Why do you want to rock the boat, man? So, Jim literally takes his gun off his hip, puts it on one of the benches, and says, okay, which one of you wants it first? He gets him one good swing, and then he pretty much gets beat up by his own damn crew. What kind of crap is that, right? And then we see this little, you know, moment between Bruce Wayne and Selina Kyle, a.k.a. Catwoman. You know, she's in her little training days, just like as Bruce is. You know, she's under her mentor still. You know, and Selina actually wanted to work with the Penguin because she got tired of living in, you know, her struggle pack, as well. That's what I'll call it, her struggle home. You know, and so I think that was her way of getting to the Penguin and robbing him, I guess. I'm not sure. You know, it looks to be deceiving, but this episode was pretty damn dope, man. I really enjoyed it. You know, we even got to see Poison Ivy a little bit. She said she's actually the one that actually cut the lights out on the Penguin. You know, and we actually learned what the Penguin's biggest fear is. It's not Batman, it's not Scarecrow, but it's none other than the man that we saw in a big-ass ice crystal. Edward Enigma. I'm like, wow, he's actually afraid of him? Like, really? I mean, he is a pretty intelligent person, I guess. I mean, Oswald Cobblepot, you're messed up. And isn't me, but that limp is on solid A1. The guy who plays the Penguin, man, I gotta give him props for that as well. I mean, that's a pretty hard-ass limp, if you ask me. But we see previews from next week's episode 2. You know, we see the beginning, you know, the starter suit of the Batman. You know, Bruce putting it on and things of that nature. Fox telling him how he's pretty much bulletproof. In fact, towards the end of the episode, the Penguin actually snitches and gives his information to Bruce because Bruce did some detective work inside himself and decided, you know what, I'm gonna get the scoop from Penguin himself. Who runs the lists of who gets licensed by the Penguin, right? I apologize if that's not really making much sense. And it turns out Penguin says, listen, I just do all the dirty work. You have to go to Mr. Penn for all that stuff. So, Bruce goes to Mr. Penn, he gets the list, and it bumps out. But it's only when Bruce hears some crime up on the roof that he actually falls through on a glass freaking. Oh my gosh, Bruce. He falls through on a little glass roof. The cops storm in, takes off his mask. I can only imagine what's going to happen next. He's either going to hit him with a smoke bomb to escape. I don't know what's going to happen next week. That's what I look forward to seeing. This is your boy, Sherry. If you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment what you guys think about the comment section in the comment section below. I love you guys. God bless.